Good evening and welcome everyone. Tonight we are going to talk about summer essentials. Summer is upon us. It's not even around the corner. I think it's upon us, and I think most of us can agree from the weather that we've experienced this past week that that's very much the case. So usually we're out and about, we're much more active, and that means that I guess we have an opportunity, we have more opportunity for things to maybe some mishaps here and there, maybe to overexert, some of those kinds of things. So Jen and I, we're going to talk to you tonight about some things that we do personally, just to help make sure that we're prepared and, that we have a safe and healthy summer, because summer should be for fun. You guys all know that summer is my favorite time of the year. I love, love, love it. So, the first thing that we're going to touch on tonight is hydration. So drinking enough water every day is crucial for so many different reasons: to regulate our body temperature, number one, to keep our joints lubricated, to prevent infections, to deliver nutrients to cells, and just overall to keep organs functioning properly. So in the summertime, we are much more likely to be dehydrated than we are any other time of the year, just because of we're out, it's warmer, and all of those kind of things. So we have a lot more opportunities. So Jen, what do you do in the summer to make sure you're hydrated?
I do a couple of things. Self-admittedly, I'm going to be super transparent here and just say that sometimes we are so busy as a family, hiking and doing all the fun things, that sometimes I forget to take care of myself. So this is a really good class, even though I'm helping to lead it, to remind myself that we need to take those steps to take care of ourselves. So I'm not perfect. I'm just striving to get there every day, right? So one thing I always start my day off with is water. That's so important. Like Rhonda was saying, I have water by my bedside table, and I try to drink that before I even get into the shower. And then after I'm dressed, I start with my Ningxia, and I'll let Rhonda talk about the Ningxia a little bit more, but I also use Amino Wise. I have my blur on, so you may not be able to see that. Amino Wise is really awesome because it replaces the things that are depleted when we're dehydrated. And it gives your body kind of that boost. And it's also really good. Sometimes, when you feel a little scattered you're just not feeling at your optimal. I find when I drink that, I feel like my thoughts become more in line. So it's really, really helpful. And I want to share just a quick tip. So because this is a powder, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't really like drinking powdery stuff because it doesn't always mix well. A really good way to drink this is to make sure you make it the night before, put it in your water, and make it the night before, put it in the fridge, and then in the morning you just give it a good shake, and it's not clumpy, because I don't like clumpy. So that's a really, I found that to be really, really good. When I was going to the gym every morning at 5 a.m., I was drinking clumps, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So we switched to making it at night, and it was really, really helpful. So, yeah.
That's a great
tip. Rhonda, you can share a little bit about Ningxia.
Yeah, so Ningxia, we know, is a powerhouse.
There's also a whisk. I should have brought that too. No, go ahead.
Ningxia is a powerhouse antioxidant. We all know that. And we're in the middle of a Ningxia Red Challenge. So if you're not already doing that with us, it's not too late. Jump in. It's fun. We're making posts every day, learning new stuff, and giving away prizes every day. So there's that. But it's packed with nutrients, and it's a great antioxidant. So it's going to help to keep us hydrated. So I know for me, if I'm headed to the beach, I'm going to drink extra Ningxia, and I'm going to bring some of the packets with me, because they're just easy. That's easy to do. But here's one of the things that also in my research and using myself as my own guinea pig, I have realized that when I drink enough Ningxia, and that depends, that may be 6 ounces a day. It might vary, and it might be different for you. But when I'm going to be out in the sun all day, if I haven't drank enough Ningxia, I typically don't burn. Okay. Because I've got the antioxidants already working in my system. So it helps a lot with that. But they're just so all of the normal Ningxia health benefits we're going to get anyway, right? So another thing that we like to do, and Frank was never a good water drinker. Like he had to have tea, or he drank soda or some kind of something with flavor, right? And I tried for years to get him to drink water. And the way we finally did it was when Young Living came out with their Vitality electrolyte drops. He started putting those in his water to give it some flavor. And he's now a water drinker. So that's a huge, huge win. But the really cool thing about it is they literally have an electrolyte blend in those drops. So there are over 70 natural occurring ionic minerals in those little bottles of ionic drops, of Vitality drops. And they're sugar free. So we're not getting sucralose. We're not getting all that dangerous stuff, right? We're getting goodness, and it's easy. Like I should have brought a bottle in here with me. I'll run grab one in a minute. They're tiny. So you can put them in your backpack. You can put it in a diaper bag. You can put it in an overnight bag. You can literally take them everywhere. So easy peasy to do. So while Jen talks about water, I'm going to run grab one to show you.
Excuse me. Water is super important. We know that our water intake, they say you're supposed to drink 8 glasses of water a day at minimum. But honestly, you need more than that. For me to really be functioning at my optimal, I need to be drinking about 140 ounces of water a day for me to be functioning the way that at my optimum level. And there was a time when I was addicted to soda and I didn't drink any water. So I have retrained my brain and given up the soda and now drink, like I said, about 140 ounces of water a day. And I feel more awake when I'm drinking water. My muscles are working better. I'm not stiff like I am when I skip the water. And I know sometimes this was a big problem when I was taking care of my mom. My mom did not drink enough water at all. She would drink maybe, this size cup for throughout the day. And she would always tell me, well, if I drink more water, I'm going to have to pee more. No, that's not the case. You actually train your bladder and your bladder stretches. So, and the urologist actually shared that with her. So I thought that was really interesting. So the more water you drink, your body becomes accustomed to that. So it's critically important, friends, to flush your body with the water.
Absolutely. So these are the drops. So they're a little tiny. Show you just against my cup to give you an idea of the size. They come in 2 different flavors. This one's lavender lemonade, and the other one is grapefruit bergamot, and they are really yummy. They taste really, really good. So, and for an extra special treat, if you like some carbonation, you could do a little bit of carbonated water, or like a club soda or something like that, and have a little bit of fizz. So that's just another tip to help stay hydrated. So a couple of things that we want to do is we want to avoid sugar. Sugar is dehydrating. So the more sugar we have, the more dehydrated we're going to become. So we want to really make sure that we're avoiding that, especially when if we're going to be out, working in the yard, or we're going to be, hiking, or any of those kinds of things. We're really going to be outdoors and we're going to be heated up. The body temperature is going to go up. We want to avoid the sugar. So make sure that we're not getting that. What happens is that it causes our cells to lose fluid, basically. And so the cells can't function properly. So it's dehydrating us at the cellular level. Now, keep in mind, sweating is dehydrating. So we want to make sure that that we're doing, and we are sweating. We need to be sweating, right? That's good for us. We want to make sure that we're putting that back, right? We're putting the liquids and the minerals back into our body. So even some pink Himalayan salt, under our tongue, if we really feel like we've got, if we're on the edge, put that under your tongue. That will get some good minerals into your body really quick, or mix a little bit in your water. Chlorine is also really dehydrating. So if we're swimming in chlorinated pools, even if we're swimming, if we're out in the ocean and it's salty, even though the salt water can be good for us, it's dehydrating to us to be in that water all day. So here's some symptoms, in case you don't know what it could look like when you're getting dehydrated, because there are a lot of people that get so dehydrated and get so overheated, they have a sunstroke. And most of the time, people don't even know that that's happening to them. And that can be a really dangerous situation to be in. So extreme thirst, urinating less than usual, having a headache, our urine gets really dark. We just feel sluggish. The brain's not quite working. We get really tired. Our breath gets really nasty. Just in like, yeah, you just know yourself. It's just yucky. And your mouth is really dry, where you have that really dry mouth, and your breath and air, it's just not a good thing. When you crave sugar, if you get dizzy, if you feel weak, lightheaded, that type of thing. And then if you start to get confused, you've got get inside, get hydrated as quickly as you can. If it goes too far and you've done like the salt and amino wise and some anesthesia, I would start taking all of that, getting all that into my body as quickly as possible. If those symptoms don't start subsiding pretty quickly, then you might want to seek medical attention and get some IV fluids so that, the body doesn't go too far into that. Nutrient wise, we want to look at things like minerals. Mineral essence is amazing. Of so many people, when we test, we're deficient in minerals. We're just nutrient deficient, but minerals we're deficient a lot. So the minerals help the body to stay hydrated. That's what helps the cellular level. So we have mineral essence, and it is a balanced, full spectrum ionic form of minerals, so we can absorb them. And guess what? They've got some essential oils infused in them to kick that up and to help further the absorption in our body. Now, word of warning, total transparency, they don't taste good. They don't. I take them every single day because my brain knows when I don't have them, but I put it in my Ningxia Red. Some people actually drop it into capsules, like they do a dropper and they fill capsules with it. Worst case scenario is put it on your body, like an area where your skin is thinner. And just as a little secret between just those of us that are here, it's really good for burns. So in the summertime, just saying, and mine stays in the refrigerator. It's nice and cold. So that's a bonus. Jen, what nutrients do you think of for the summer?
I love sulfurzyme. I love sulfurzyme. So we know that during the summer, our skin tends to get a little dry. It's a little, cracked, things like that. Sulfurzyme has helped me tremendously. I used to have really nasty hands, and I would see the dermatologist for a skin issue related to cracked hands, and taking the sulfurzyme has really helped my body a lot. My husband didn't like to hold my hand because it was so dry and cracked, and now we don't have that problem anymore. So it's really nice. So I love the sulfurzyme. It is, we're never without that, for sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I love that it has the Ninja in there. It has some Ninja and it has the MSN in there. So it's awesome. It's awesome. So you might, if you want to share a little bit more about it, you can as well.
Well, sulfurzyme is great to help regulate the fluid at the cellular level again, right? So when we think about staying hydrated and keeping the cells healthy and all that good stuff, sulfurzyme is one of our best friends. And when you pair it with Ningxia Red, you just can't go wrong with that. Like you just can't. So a lot of us spend a lot of time in the water. And most of the time that water in a pool has chlorine in it. So we mentioned about the dehydration of it, but it's toxic to us. Chlorine is a toxin. So it negatively affects the endocrine system because it blocks the uptake of iodine, in addition to just adding more toxicity. And we all know about bioaccumulation, right? A little bit today and a little bit tomorrow and a little bit the next day and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit adds up to a lot. And unfortunately, the body doesn't just dump toxins. It would be great if it did, but it doesn't. It tends to store them. So I'm not going to get into all of the details about that, but it does. So if you're spending time in a pool, if you're spending time in a hot tub, things like that, there's some things we're going to talk to you next about doing that. And I just want to give you a little tip. Any of you have a hot tub? What we've used in ours for years and years is geranium oil and thieves. So the way that would look is when we were getting into the hot tub, we would put 2 drops of geranium for every person that was going to be in that hot tub. So 2 drops per person. And we would put it in and kind of just, turn on the jets and let it kind of run through for a couple of minutes before we would hop in. When we got out, we would put like 8 to 10 drops of thieves in it and turn those jets on again. So it got to the point for us that was the only thing we used in our hot tub. And it was so nice because you weren't sitting there with your pores open, soaking in all of those nasty chemicals that are in the hot tub. So Jen, what do you do to support endocrine?
Well, this girl has an issue with her thyroid. And so these 2 products I'm going to talk to you about are very, very close to my heart. So Thyromin and Endoflex. These have been absolutely transformational for me, not just for summer, but all 4 seasons, 365. Without these 2 things, my body kind of falls on its face, if you really want to know the truth. If I don't have these, I don't function very well. And we're in a full top to bottom remodel of our house. And to be quite honest and be transparent, I've gotten kind of lazy, and just because there's so much going on with the house, and I kind of had backed off taking these, and I am reaping the consequences for that. So now I'm back on it. Our kitchen's done now. I have some working. It has been such a blessing. I can see an immediate difference taking them, getting back on it, and what a difference. My scalp really prefers to have the Thyromin because the stuff that's attached to the scalp likes to stay in, if that makes sense. I'm trying to be compliant. Because when I don't take it, this comes out. Yes, it comes out by the handful. So this is pivotal. And then Endoflex, same thing, just a couple drops over my thyroid. And this, I love the way it smells. It's very calming to me also. It's very calming, but it's also giving extra support to that beautiful little gland right there that happens to be like one of the main things in our endocrine system. So those 2 things, can't be without those.
Awesome. So just a little tip. If you are spending time in a pool with chlorine or hot tub with chlorine in it, put some Endoflex on over the thyroid and over the adrenals. Remember, the adrenals sit atop the kidneys on the back, like right around your waist area. So put some on just to give them a little extra support. And you can also apply Cellulite Magic massage oil. Now, I know that most of us think, well, I don't want to get into a pool, or I don't want to get into a hot tub with any kind of oil on. So, but that's what we do if we're going to be in a pool with chlorine and stuff in it, because it will help to protect the body. It will help to keep the lymphatics moving so that we're not as likely to store everything, and it keeps, you know, everything circulating a little bit better. So those are a couple of things, couple of tips, couple of things that we do that are easy to do. And even if you just took the Cellulite Magic and you put it over lymph nodes, so, you know, around the neck, armpits, around the breast, the chest area, the groin area, and behind the knees and around the ankles, that will at least help those lymph nodes and kind of help to keep things moving through the lymphatic system. And then again, when you get out, so shower off when you get out, and then you can put that on again. So, and dry brushing is another great way to keep the lymphatics moving, because remember, the lymphatics don't have a pump. It's only our movement that keeps the lymphatic fluid moving through the body. The other thing that's really great to support us when our endocrine system is being taxed and we're being exposed to toxins is multigreens. So multigreens is a chlorophyll formula, and is actually designed to boost vitality by working with the glandular system. It works with the nervous system and with the circulatory system. So all of those can be affected if we are getting this type of toxicity exposure, right? It's got spirulina, alfalfa sprouts, barley grass, bee pollen, those types of things. And of course, it's also infused with essential oils. So taking those little green capsules can be phenomenal support to the endocrine system, as well as help to keep things moving through the body and be kind of a gentle detox at the same time. So we're going to talk now for a minute about sunscreen. There are so many varieties of sunscreen on the market, and sadly, most of them have things in them that we don't want on our bodies. So sometimes people say to me, well, you know, I'm not ingesting it, I'm just rubbing it on, right? But the truth of the matter is, if we put it on our bodies, we're ingesting it. So we don't want to really put anything on our body that we would think about putting in our body. We just don't want to do that. There've been huge recalls recently of all kinds of sunscreens. So you guys can go out there and you can Google that, or if you're in one of our groups, if you're in the Anointing Nations groups, you'll see I made a post about that and listed a lot of those and gave you links so you can go read about the studies and which companies and which particular products have been recalled and have been labeled. Some of them just been labeled that they're unsafe for us. So thank goodness we have mineral sunscreen. It's reef friendly, it's kiddo friendly, it's all those things, right? We don't have to worry about the ingredients. And that's one of the things that I really love about a Young Living lifestyle is it is the easy button. I don't have to spend hours and hours and hours researching ingredients and hours standing in the aisles of stores trying to determine which product to buy. And I used to do that before Young Living. It was terrible because you know, and the names of things keep changing and it's just crazy. So it's really the easy button. But a couple of things that you want to avoid would be oxybenzone. Now, it is a very well-known endocrine disruptor. So we've been talking about supporting the endocrine system, right? If our endocrine system isn't working right, that's the control center, you guys, that and the nervous system. And it's actually banned in Hawaii because it's so unsafe to the environment. They banned it. They cannot have and sell something that has that in it. And then benzene, it's been banned, period. But according to that Valisure study that was recently done, even though it wasn't listed as an ingredient, they found it in numerous sunscreens. Now that's not okay, you guys, that it's in there and it's not even listed, and it is a known carcinogen. So we just really want to be mindful of that. And then something else is octinoxate, and it's also an endocrine disruptor. It affects the thyroid. It's known to affect the reproductive system, and it causes allergic reaction in a lot of people, and it is very unsafe to the environment. It is also banned in the state of Hawaii for that reason. The fourth thing that we really want to avoid is fragrance. So if it says fragrance, guys, you know the deal. It could be somewhere up to 1,400 different ingredients umbrellaed under fragrance, and they don't have to tell us what that is because it's proprietary. And it's not, it's all synthetic. It's always synthetic, even if it says lavender or green tea something or whatever. It's not from plants. So don't fall for the greenwashing that's done, the marketing that is very deceptive, that's done with so many things. If you're in the sun too long, one of my, well, I'm going to tell you two of my favorite things to use. The after sun spray from Young Living is absolutely magical. It is magical. I carry 2 or 3 bottles of that with me whenever I travel. We just returned from Hawaii and I brought a couple of bottles with me. And yes, I used some because I always, tend to overdo it a little, especially early on. But that stuff is phenomenal. It's so cooling, and you just spray it on and rub it in a little bit and go about your business. The other thing that I use all of the time for my skin when I've been out and exposed too much in the sun is Australian blue. So, I challenge each one of you to go to your reference guide and look up every ingredient in Australian blue and read what those ingredients are known for, because that is an oil that should be in everyone's home with a couple of extra bottles. Trust me when I tell you. Jen, what do you do when you're out, when you're exposed?
I absolutely love Lavaderm. I love it. I actually even keep this by my stove. I keep 2 things by my stove, this and then an actual bottle of lavender. If I don't have the after sun spray, I just put this on there and we use this. This is good for insect bites. It's good for soothing the skin. It's just it's a great all around product to have. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about insect repellent, but before we do that, I'm gonna get into my DIY recipe because my husband didn't use the repellent and he got into a patch of bugs, and they got a hold of him pretty good on both of his arms and both of his legs, and this man was absolutely miserable for many, many days, just hurting. They were swollen, they were itchy, and he was taking everything that he could, oil wise, to get it to calm down, and we couldn't really get it under control until I started thinking about, okay, what do I know? And I put together a DIY recipe. So if you guys have a pencil and paper, get it out. You're gonna wanna write this down. So the first thing is oatmeal. Okay. So this is regular oatmeal that you'll notice it looks kind of fine, like a powder. My son doesn't like the regular oats. So I had already ground this in my Vitamix, and I happened to have it in my cupboard. So I use this. So we're going to use 1 cup of this, which is finely ground oatmeal. We're going to use a 1/2 cup of Epsom salt. We're going to use a 1/2 cup of baking soda. And then we are going to use a teaspoon of liquid magnesium. Give me 1 second. I got to grab it. I use this. This has some This is pure magnesium oil from Trace Minerals. So I use a teaspoon of this. And then, so you mix that together. That's all your dry, right? Well, a little bit, the liquid magnesium, there's a little bit of liquid in there. And then I use 20 drops of Joy, okay? Joy has geranium in there. Joy has ylang ylang in there. Those, look up those in your reference guide, what those do for your skin. It's amazing. Plus, when you're not feeling well, what do you need? You need Joy, okay? Just saying. It works both ways, okay? Then I used 20 drops of lavender and 20 drops of copaiba. Copaiba is really good for inflammation. So, and then I mixed it all together. And then what we did is we put it directly on him. He got his body wet and we put it on him and let it sit for a minute. And then we filled up the bathtub and then he was able to soak in it. And then I just keep it in, here it is. This is my made recipe. And I just keep it in a little pint-sized jar. And while he was not feeling well, he was getting up in the middle of the night and taking a bath with this. And it was the only thing that would stop the pain, the itch, all of that. And he got rest. So this recipe, I don't know, I just was praying, Lord, how do I help him? And just started putting these things together. And this was the only thing that really brought him that relief, because he didn't reach for the insect repellent that we have. I don't need the bug spray. He did. So bug spray has some pretty gnarly things in there. I'm sure you guys have all heard of that 4-letter word that starts with a D, has 2 E's in it and ends with a T. I would encourage you to look that up, the effects of DEET and what that does. There's pretty significant effects of DEET. You know, it's been linked to seizures, it's been linked to breathing issues, and it's in every insect repellent that we've ever used before finding Young Living. So Young Living is free of all of that. You don't have to worry about that. And think about that. Moms with little babies or Grammies with little grandbabies. You're spraying bug spray on there because you don't want them to get bit by the mosquitoes, but you're spraying something on there that could hurt them unknowingly. So that's why I really, really appreciate that Young Living doesn't have that stuff in there. There is the wipes. Now, I just moved to Arkansas from California. We could not get the wipes, and thankfully I knew somebody who could send them to me. Those are so handy to keep in your purse, and just when you're out and about and you just, you know, you find yourself, you know, where you don't have a bottle and you just wipe them down. Say keep a little bag with you, and there's so much extra fluid in there, you can rehydrate that little towelette in there, and it is phenomenal for keeping away those critters that like to munch on you. So
awesome. I like to take the insect repellent and put it in a little bottle, like a little 1-ounce spray bottle, and I carry that in my purse. It's really easy because if you're out sometimes in the evening and things like that, you may not have thought, you know, you may have been out all day. Sometimes we're out all day and it's not really a big deal, but we stop somewhere for dinner and sit outside and it becomes a big deal. So I can just pull that out. We can just spritz it on, you know, on our legs, around our ankles, our, you know, put it on our arms, whatever. And it's easy peasy. And again, just a little 1-ounce spray bottle. You could even use one of the Thieves spray bottles when it's empty and put your insect repellent in there and carry it around with you. I just don't like to be without it. We live in Florida and we have a lot of critters that come out at night. So especially when we're out on the water. So we like to have that. I don't know, anybody besides me get really dry skin, especially your feet. Like I go barefoot all the time when the weather is warm and my feet get kind of gnarly, you know, I don't know. I could be the only one, but I have found 2 things. that work really well for me. And one is the animal sense ointment. Love, love, love that stuff. And I love to put either frankincense or geranium in it when I'm going to put it on my feet. And I also use it sometimes on my elbows and my knees, because those are areas of the body that typically are a little bit drier. You know, you can get little patches of dry, rough skin. So I like to put it there. But I've got it, and it is a little bit gooey, you know, like it's a little bit thick, but it stays there, you guys. Like, it's got staying power, and that's one of the really good things about it. But I'll tell you what, something that I absolutely love is the coconut lime body butter. That stuff smells good enough to eat. It's so hydrating. It's just so moisturizing, and you can rub it in, like it rubs in and absorbs a lot faster than the animal sense ointment. So I would just say to you, whichever, you know, whatever consistency you prefer, if you're looking for something that's really, really hydrating to your skin, I literally take that coconut lime body butter, and I will put it all over my body, especially if I've been outside a lot and I've got, you know, a lot of extra sun. I will definitely do that after I've showered. Something that is really cool and really handy is this. Anybody have this Bon Voyage travel kit? This thing is so handy, isn't it? I see Mary's hand going up. Like, this thing is amazing, and Lisa's got one. So it comes just like this. Like, I don't know, I have carried this thing for years and it still looks really good. I'm really happy with how well it has held up, because I've carried it everywhere. So what comes in it is, these are 2-ounce bottles. So you can take them right through TSA, as long as it's not more than your quart bag. If you're just doing carry-on and you're flying, which I have done before. Lavender conditioner and shampoo, Thieves mouthwash, Genesis hand and body lotion, Morning Start bath and shower gel, Young Living branded toothbrush. You got to have that, right? Oh, fiddle, I just realized there are a couple things that I don't have in here, because this is mine that I used. This handy little thing, and if you've been to beauty school, you've gotten these. If you haven't, these are so handy, because this is the Art Light moisturizer in this little tiny container that it makes it easy when you're traveling. So also, what is missing from here that I didn't even think about is the Aroma Bright, a 2-ounce Aroma Bright toothpaste, and lip balm. There's also a lip balm in here. So all of that comes in this handy little kit that literally you can carry, and it's YL branded. I love swag stuff. So that's really cool. That's an easy way for you to carry all your stuff in the summer, because hopefully you're going to get to travel in the summer and do some fun stuff and go some fun places and make great memories. But you know what? These are great gifts. You've got somebody that you're just not sure what to get for them, especially if they like to do traveling at all. And the teenagers and college age students, this is phenomenal. It's also a great way for people who are wanting to try some of the personal care products that Young Living has, for them to sample them. This is a really, really cool way to do that. Okay, Jen, sometimes we overexert. We tend to be out and do a lot of yard work, a lot of hiking, a lot of swimming. What do you do when that happens to you?
CBD muscle rub. And I pack, where is my, I actually kind of combine both of these, the CBD muscle rub and the deep relief. So when I'm out in the yard, we went from a regular track house to 30 acres. And so when I've noticed in these last couple months being here that my exertion level is a lot higher, my muscles are a lot sorer. So this muscle rub has been awesome. It has kind of a cooling effect, but not to where you're, I don't know, it's not like other products that we've used in the past have just like make you really cold feeling, and I don't like that at all. I like this, that this is soothing, and it gets really deep into the muscle. And then I'll layer it with my deep relief. So, and I also carry deep relief. I like the deep relief because this, I don't carry this in my handbag, but this I certainly do. This is really nice when I'm driving. You know, road trips are, it's a little bit, you know, I like to be able to do a road trip rather than fly, just because I don't like all the rules that they impose. So I like to be able to use this when I'm driving, you know, because you get, you know, crook in your neck because you're looking at the road, or, you know, your arms cramping. This is a great one to keep in your purse, or your knees. When your knees are sore from driving for a long time, this is a great one to have with you, and keep it in the car, keep it in your purse. It's another one to don't leave home without. I love the deep relief and the muscle rub, but I like that one because the portability for sure.
And now they get those little tins.
Yes, I do have those, and I have used those, but I don't like, I'm kind of funny. I don't like to touch it if I don't know my hands are, you know, been washed and stuff. I know there's sanitizer, but I like the roller.
No, that's good, but they're easy to carry in your purse.
It's true. They are. And I do have one.
Yeah, I have them in my purse. One of my go-tos for pain for Frank and I is the Cool Azul pain cream. Like, we really, really like that. And I actually took one of these, and I put some in it, and I carry it this way because a little bit goes a long way. So that's easy to do. And we do quite a bit of traveling now. Again, we're traveling. So I love being able to just bring all my stuff with me. Those are the highlights that, for Jen and I, of things that we do to make sure that we're prepared for whatever comes our way during the summer. So I hope that we've imparted some tips to you that you find valuable. Some of them I hope that you are able to use daily, and others I hope you don't have to use, but now you know in case you do. So we appreciate you guys.